And so the festivities begin. And by festivities, I mean fucking awful fixture list. Leicester match preview. Welcome back to another video on the channel, Newcastle fans. If you are new to Black and White Banter, you haven't heard of us yet, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button just at the bottom. Now, on to Leicester we go. This is the start of, I think it's fair to say, probably our worst period potentially in the whole season, fixture-wise. We have Leicester, followed by Liverpool on Thursday, followed by Man City 3 days later, followed by Man United. It's not a very generous month to us. We must have been a very bad football club because Santa Claus works for the Premier League and didn't want this takeover to go through because the fixture list is shocking. So I do think going into Leicester on Sunday though, however, that is one of the fixtures in the Christmas list for me that I feel quietly confident on. And when I say quietly confident, I'm not going to running down the bookies and putting £20 on it. But I think I look at this Leicester team this season, quite shaky in defence. I certainly don't think they're a solid team at the back. They do leak goals. I know Watford went there a couple of weeks ago and bagged a few. I think there's going to be goals on Sunday, that's without a doubt. And they've had a very, very tough game against Napoli on Thursday, which obviously they've lost, so they feel a little bit flat. They're out of the Europa League and into the Europa Conference League. So morale's not going to be great. They've got a long trip back from there after what will have been a very, very challenging game where they've pretty much played most of their first team squad. And we all know what the Europa League does to teams on Sundays. It's not easy. We've been there before as a football club many moons ago. But it's not easy when you're playing Thursday, Sunday for squad rotation, etc. And I just think after we've been buoyed by that win on Saturday against Burnley, finally getting over the line, I think we due a decent performance. Eddie Howe's had another week working with the players, and I've got no doubts he is putting everything into that. You know what Eddie Howe's like? He's a modern day manager. He's analysing everything. He's articulate with everything. And I expect a decent performance on Sunday. And I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to get the win because Leicester are a much better footballing side than us. But I'm just quietly confident we can get something. And I do think there's going to be goals. I am going down on Sunday. I've got a ticket. I'm going to Leicester on Sunday and Liverpool on Thursday. I love going away games this time of year. So I am going to be there early bus on the Sunday morning. And I'm just going there with a little bit of hope. A little bit more so than what we normally would on an away day. And I think Liverpool next Thursday, I'm going to call a write-off. I think they are way too good for us. I would love to think we'd get something. I think they have a cup game a couple of days earlier. So they do have a piled fixture list, but still... Mo Salah, Mane, Jota, the list goes on, so I'm not so hopeful on that. We've got Man City 3 days later. Again, anything you get from Man City at home is a bonus. So Sunday is quite a big game in my opinion, because we need some sort of points over the Christmas period, even if it's 3, even if it's 2 draws somewhere. And I'll be looking at Sunday's game at Leicester for sure, and I'm sure Eddie Howe will probably see that. He says he's taking each game at a time, which I respect. But he's still going to be looking ahead thinking, right, I think this Leicester game is the one where we could really push and get something. Don't forget what happened at Leicester last season, playing against a very, very similar team to what we were last year when we went there under Steve Bruce. Our best performance of the season. We absolutely smashed them. Callum Wilson was running riot. Somehow the game finished 4-2. It should have been 5-0. The game on paper, I think if Perez had a chance in injury time, it would have made it actually look would have been 4-3. Never a 4-2 game in a million years. We battered them. And there was gaps there. And again, I don't think too much has changed from the Leicester team. With regards to team selection for Sunday, I wouldn't make too many changes. I would look to bring Lascelles out, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about that because I think it's safe to say that Eddie Howe likes Jamal Lascelles. It goes back to this leadership quality that he must bring. He must be good on the training ground. He must scream like hell when he's out there on the field. I just don't rate him as a defender. And him against Jamie Vardy on Sunday really, really puts the shits up me, if I'm being totally honest with you. So Fernandes for me would be a no-brainer. I think he looked solid as hell when he came on as a sub against Norwich. a week or so ago, and everybody was gobsmacked he never came in against Burnley. But what I will say for the Burnley game, although it wasn't a great game, we looked more solid defensively. We dealt with all them balls coming in the box. Rode our luck a little bit, as you do when you're holding up a 1-0 lead, but generally we looked better. So I'm sure Lascelles will stay in the team. That would just be a change that I would make. I think Newcastle fans need to realise, we all need to realise that defensively we are better without Matt Ritchie. You might have a soft spot for him because he shouts a lot and because he whips a lot of balls in the box and creates chances, but that, when you are in a relegation zone, that's not what a left-back's in the team for. Yes, it's important to support your midfielders in the modern game and bomb forward, but sole purpose is to defend. And I think Jamal Lewis is very rusty for me. He's not outstanding. I don't think any of his performances, some people have said, have been fantastic. I just think okay, and he's getting that game time back now, but he is much better than Ritchie because he's actually a defender. Can you believe it? We defend better when we play a defender in a defensive position. Fucking God, this football thing's complicated, isn't it? So, again, he needs to stay out of the team. Now, I feel like I'm talking about him every week. Joe Willock. For me at the moment, he's not offering enough. He's not making those gut-busting runs into the box. He made one against Burnley in the first half, when it was pulled back to him from the left-hand side, and that was refreshing to see. But he's just not... Maybe we have to accept now as a fan base that he's not the player that he once was. Could this be another case of Pape Cisse? Remember when Pape Cisse burst onto the scene? I think he's got one of the best ever game-to-goal ratios in that second half of the 11-12 season in the history of the Premier League. Maybe that was Joe Willock last year. Just everything he touched went in. Players go through, strikers get runs like that. And he's just not looking what he did last season. And we all wanted him to sign. He signed. We were over the moon when he finally came to us permanently rather than another loan deal. But he's just not offering enough. And the only worry for me in that midfield on Sunday is the likes of Maddison and the likes of Tielemans. Are Shelvey and Willock really up to the job of digging deep and putting in the defensive work needed to go to somewhere like Leicester and get a result? I'm not so sure. There's going to be a lot of play comes from the wings on Sunday. So we need work from Manquillo and what looks like will probably be Lewis again. Harvey Barnes is a very, very good footballer. I like him, I rate him a lot, and he's going to cause us some problems. And you know, when the ball is coming in the box, Jamie Vardy, even at the grand old age of whatever he is, 32, 33, is always going to be on the shoulder. He's not going to give you a second. So again, that goes back to my point about Lascelles. Our centre-backs need to be on point. Howe said Shah's fully fit after picking up a slight rib knock in the week. So you'd assume Shah's going to play with Lascelles again. We just need to be on our game on Sunday. But regardless of talking about the opposition, I think it's very important in away games that Alan St-Maximin shows up. I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day who's a Leicester fan. When we don't see much from St-Maximin, particularly in away games like Leicester, where we might be under the cosh for large spells, as an out ball, I just think we don't look as productive going forward. He is so imperative to us. Because if we are under the cosh, Shelvey's going to be sitting deep, Willock's going to be sitting deep. And Maximin on that left-hand side is so important to dig the ball out, but he also needs to put in his defensive work as well. And I think it's safe to say under Eddie Howe, Maximin's performances have been a little bit disappointing to say. We've played slightly more attacking stuff at times. So we need something from him. Now, do you play Almiron? That's probably the other big decision to make. So you would assume it's going to be a front three of Joe Linton, who he cannot do a thing wrong for me at the moment. Joe Linton's a no-brainer. God, did you ever think we'd be saying Joe Linton's a no-brainer? Wilson's a no-brainer. Maximin's a no-brainer. So then, who makes up that three? Fraser's back. Will Howe go for Fraser? Almiron, for me, just doesn't have enough quality. A lot of people rated his performance against Burnley on Saturday. Yes, in terms of graft, I thought he was good. He had a chance where he almost scored, where the keeper saved it. But his quality when he is in that final third run that defenders are looking for that pass, I'm yet to be convinced that it's there. But in an away game like Leicester, I think Almiron could be quite important, so that's who I would go for. I don't like to pick attacking players work based off defensive work, but Almiron can be that defensive graft that you love to see, but also the pace on the counter-attack. Because, again, very similar to when we played Leicester at the back end of last season, a lot of our attacking on Sunday, I would assume, will come from some counter-attacks, because Leicester are going to have big spells of the ball. But yeah, I'm going to go for a cheeky, very fucking cheeky 2-1 Newcastle win on Sunday. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm not going to shout it from the rooftops, but I'll go there quite hopeful. Please, Newcastle fans, let us know in the comments your predictions, who you want to start, whether you're confident going into Sunday's game, and what you think of this awful Christmas fixture pile-up that we have. If you haven't already liked and subscribed whilst watching this video, and you're still watching right now, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe. Get us on Facebook and Instagram. And just a final thing to finish on. I've just bought this Castor quarter zip. My God, the quality is incredible. £27.20 this was in the club shop. Right, hopefully a big performance from the lads on Sunday, and I'll try and touch down once I get off that drunken bus on the way back from Leicester for a match preview at some point. If you are going to the game, let us know. We can maybe grab a beer beforehand. How are we, the lads?